G'day. It's Brian here, Run Reviewer. If you like the content you see, please like and subscribe on this channel. I guess that's what everybody says you should do. Today's video is about the Saucony Endorphin Elite 1 and 2 Race Day Carbon shoes. So what have I got to say? Well, what I have to say is these are my absolute favorite shoes. I have run 11 marathons in the past 12 months in these shoes, and I considered like running Tokyo Marathon in the Adidas Pro Evo 1s, which have won so many awards. #1 like award-winning shoe in the past 12 months. More people have won the big major marathons in this than any other shoe, but after trying them, I ended up sticking with the Endorphin Elite 1s. A lot heavier. I mean, when I say a lot heavier, these are probably like 280 grams. These are like 160, 170 grams. So lighter, but still very light for a super shoe. But my issue is, and the reason I like these shoes so much, and we're going to talk about the Endorphin Elite 2s, which you've not seen yet, which are kind of hidden here. But these shoes have, #1, the Endorphin Elite 1 has a very aggressive rocker. The position of the rocker is here, so it just propels you forward more than any other super shoe I've seen on the market today. #2, the carbon plate in this shoe is a forked carbon plate, so it gives you a little bit more balance and stability, particularly if you're kind of like striking like me, which is, I don't flat strike, I kind of like, what do they call that? Pronate, supinate, as I'm like landing in. Also, the foam on this is the Power HG foam. The energy return on this shoe is 95% energy return. If you compare it to like the Alpha Fly 3, that's like an 88%. So this is like 10% more bounce back. This shoe is particularly good for front and midfoot strikers, but also it's got the stability at the rear. So as you get lazy, come the 30-kilometer mark, where the Alpha Fly 3 is not very forgiving, this shoe is very forgiving. It gives you that protection at the end. And it's got the wider toe box. It's probably got the widest toe box of any super shoe on the market, with the exception of the New Balance SC Elite V4. You can get those in 2E. One of the few super shoes you can get in a wide model as well as a standard size. But I find the ride in the SC Elite V4s kind of boring, very vanilla. These are a lot more aggressive, these shoes, and that's why people like doing it. When I put these shoes on after training in, say, my Evo SLs or my Super Blast, I just feel like these are like Ferraris, these are like rocket ships. So without further ado, I'm going to unbox the Saucony Endorphin Elite 2, which is the updated version of these shoes. And before I jump into this, also, I want to just do a quick mention of the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3, Pro 4. So these, the Endorphin Pro 3 and Pro 4s are one step below the Endorphin Elites. The Pro 4 does not have the Power HG foam, this newer foam technology. I believe this foam technology has now rolled out into more of the Saucony range. However, I find the ride in the Endorphin Pro 4 and 3 very vanilla, kind of boring. They have stability at the rear, which is good for heel strikers. A lot of my friends really love the Endorphin Pro range, the Pro 3s and Pro 4s. I just find them very boring and very vanilla, and the rocker is not aggressive enough for me. So the ride in these are just a hell of a lot better. So if I was going to choose, look for the Elite. Like a lot of people just make the assumption, oh, Endorphin with the carbon plate, I'll get that. No. There's Endorphin Pro and there's Elite. Okay, let's get into the unboxing, I guess, of the Saucony Endorphin Elite 2s. So this is version 2.0 of these shoes. So Saucony were really nice in Tokyo as well. They like let me have this little bag, and my friends as well. So it's a nice little gift from Saucony. Now, what looks immediate is we have the logo, which is the same. The material at the upper is very different-ish. So this one has this kind of like, it's like a fishnet type, I don't know what it is. It's like, hard, rough plastic, but I love it. It works really well. I did Borneo Marathon. This doesn't absorb any water. Whereas, let me show you these. These are Asics Metaspeed Sky, different version. This is like the women's version 12. I've kind of tried these out. I feel these will, like, particularly like all of this, you know, cushioning here, that just sucks up water. This thing here has nothing to suck up water in, so it was great. And that just means more weight if you're in a wet situation. So I love that. What does this look like? Well, this looks different. It's also got a kind of clear, roughy, plasticky, but it feels more fabric-like. It feels like softer on your hands, whereas, you know, that's like, you know, pretty rough. So that's nice. Weight-wise, I'm gonna lift them up. Gosh. They're pretty similar, like literally. And I think if you look at the stats, the weight's pretty much identical on both of these shoes. Maybe give a few grams. They have the speed roll technology. The thing, if you look at these shoes, is the rocker on the Endorphin Elite 2s are nowhere near as aggressive as a rocker on this. So you're not gonna feel that, you know, jumping in a Ferrari in these shoes. So that's a trade-off. So if you want something that feels more aggressive, Endorphin Elite 1s are the way to go. If you want something not as aggressive, but still pretty aggressive compared to most shoes on the market, including the bloody Asics, Metaspeeds, this is still a great shoe. The number two thing about this shoe is they've retained this kind of thing going on at the back, but it's a little bit different. Whereas here on the Endorphin Elite 1, you've got a little pull-off thing here. Some people hate it. I love it to bits. I think this is awesome. It feels like I'm just getting into a sports car when I put these on. It's got a little bit of a cushion here at the back. Love it. They've retained that little bit of cushion here at the back on these shoes, which is great. But instead of having that little kind of weird thing, I guess people complain, they've just like kind of built it into ribbed webbing here. So it feels like a nice snugger fit, slightly different feel to the back, but still very good. If you look on the underside, this area here isn't as big in the new type. I actually had, for the first time, a stone stuck in here after I did my marathon last Saturday. So it's like, oh, on Sunday, I mean, which I thought was interesting. Maybe it's less harder. Maybe they've done some reconstruction here, so they don't have to deal with that. The other thing about this is, let's look at the base here. I find these actually have really good grip, these shoes. And, you know, we've got a similar type, you know, gripping system here, but then you've got this little bit of extra coating here as well. If we look at the rear heel, in terms of the stability at the rear, they look almost similar. I would say the Endorphin Elite ones have a little bit more stability at the rear versus these ones. These look a little bit slightly more narrow at the rear, or maybe it's just me, but it does look a little bit more narrow. What's the other thing? The colorway. Oh, I'm not sure I like them that much. I like these. You know, I don't like garish, colorful super shoes, but it seems to be the force de rigueur today. The laces. Gosh, these laces in the ones look a lot better quality than these. These just look like kind of crappy. I just don't think they're going to hold as well. It just feels a little bit more plush, this shoe, which actually goes to the point of the ride as well. So the feedback on the ride on this shoe, the 2 versus the 1s, is these also have the responsiveness of these in terms of the energy return and so on, but they feel a lot more cushioned and softer when you run on them. So that could be a big factor when you think about running, because when you're running at like the 30-kilometer mark, it can feel jarring running in the Endorphin Elite 1s. In the Endorphin Elite 2s, it's less jarring on your feet as you're doing your runs. So that's more comforting for you. The challenge when they become softer is they don't feel as responsive, particularly when you're trying to do a race. So that's the only balance. So I'm yet to do a marathon in these, so I can't provide you feedback. So I'll do another follow-up video where I talk through, you know, how was this racing a mara versus this one. But at this stage, I'm loving this shoe in my shoe lineup. The number one thing I'm looking forward to is just a more comfortable ride. The only thing to also note is this is definitely tighter on the toe box versus these. This is a 10.5, this is 11, and it still feels tighter on the toe box. So if width is an issue for you, what you would have done at 10.5 true to size US in this, go up half a size. So this is an 11, this feels good for me. If it was a 10.5, it would not be the same fit. It would be a little bit too narrow. So feedback on the Endorphin Elite 1, Endorphin Elite 2, you know, both great super shoes. Question is, would I ever replace that into my race lineup? I'll find out when I decide whether I'll use either of these 3 shoes for the Gold Coast Marathon. It will be one of these 3. Stay tuned, find out more. If you've got any comments or thoughts about this, please put some comments in there, and please like and subscribe. Tell your friends about this channel. I'm just growing it, just starting, so let me know more. Cheers, I'm Brian, over and out.